Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of the Points of Articulation. My name's Dave and if you're new to the channel, welcome. Today I'm looking at the Hot Wheels Lightyear Armadillo released in 2022. Now I know some people might be going, but Dave, all the images of the armadillo we see and the toys that are sold are orange. Well, that is indeed true. However, without giving away any spoilers from the film, there is more than one armadillo in the world of Lightyear, and that's all I'm going to say about that. But this is a really interesting model. Basically, in the film, it's a shuttle. It cargoes goods or passengers from point A to point B in the world of Lightyear, and it's basically a minivan in space. It's got sliding doors, an aft door, and when I look at this, I know it's far left field, but the first ship that pops in my head is the Serenity from the show Firefly and the film Serenity. And it's all due to the cockpit, which is rounded on the side. And we'll look at the mold later, but you can see it's like a teardrop. It sort of curves in. And then we have this flat area. And it sort of looks like the Serenity a little bit. You know, I'm really stretching it, but if you're a fan of that show, you'll know what I'm talking about. Of course, it doesn't have the wings with the engines or anything like that, but the basic idea is you have a hanging cockpit, the main cargo area underneath, and then we have our engines in the aft. All in all, I like this design. I think it's pretty cool. In the film, I think it was used pretty well. I love the design of this and all the sliding doors. At times, it made me think of Aliens when they're driving their APC tank. It's pretty cool. So for the dimensions of this craft, we're looking at just under 2¼ inches, or just about 5½ centimeters long. Now you might be saying, Dave, that's very small, and if I grab a Hot Wheels Batmobile, you can see the difference here, because this is not the same size as the other Lightyear craft that I have been reviewing. This is basically a 1/64 scale, and if I turn it up, it's got wheels, it's made to go on a track. Which, it's cool, but I wish that Hot Wheels made this bigger to go with their other line of ships that I did review. At the moment, it is what it is, and with Lightyear bombing at the box office, I don't know if we're going to get any more, but I could be hopeful, right? Stranger things have happened. So if you're new to my channel, what I'd like to do is go over the mold, look at all the main points, zoom in, see the fine details on these bad boys, look at the paint, compare it to some other pieces, and then we'll be done. So let's get started. Alright, so let's start looking at the mold. Like in all my videos, I'll go over all the major sections, and then we'll get a nice close-up look to see those fine details. So let's begin. Up first, we have our cockpit area. Now the windows are transparent. You can see little chairs in there, which is a nice touch. I think that came out really cool. On the sides, we have our air intakes for the engine. And you can see how the dorsal section is very smooth. You know, compared to the bottom where it's bulky and a lot of little panels, the top sort of like flows to the aft. It's a little hard to explain, but I guess you gotta have it in your hand it's like two separate ships. You have like one here and then the cargo part on the bottom. So on the top we have our 3 things, which look amazing. There's some detail on them as well. Then we have our aft section with our engines, which also looks amazing. And then we have our bottom section, which is basically for passengers or cargo. On the sides, we have some nice detailing. And this section right here is actually a door. In the film, it comes out and slides to the back, sort of like a minivan, if anybody has one of them. There's also a door on this side. And then in the aft, this section right here can fold down and we have an entry ramp, which is pretty cool. In the front, we have some nice detailing as well. Underneath, some molding. Now, these sections here, and also in the aft, are really interesting. In the film, without giving anything away, the main fuel source that they use is taken from them. So instead of using their main engines, they use their hover function. So we got some hover engines on there as well, which is kind of cool. We also have little fins on the bottom as well. So that's pretty cool. And underneath, we have 4 wheels, 2 rivets holding it together, and You guys guessed it, copyright crap. But all in all, a nice little detailed vehicle. So let's quickly get a close-up look before we dive into the paint. For our closer look, let's begin looking at the bottom of the craft. We have 4 wheels, which roll pretty well, 2 rivets, and then all this copyright crap. Disney, Pixar, Mattel, Armadillo, made in Malaysia. Pretty interesting stuff. Coming to the bottom section, we have our entry ramp right here looking good, and just check out all the detail in here. Really nice. Coming around the side, we have our fin right here, and lots of line work and shapes here, especially right here on the door. We can see a little access panel, this little sort of like rope design here, looking sharp, really slick. Now, one thing I really like about this is on the bottom it's very industrial, and on the top it's very aerodynamic looking. It's like there's 2 different ships, and obviously this one's die cast and this piece is plastic, and you can see a little color difference there, but it's not really too noticeable. I just have a lot of light on it right now. Coming to the front, you can see some great detail, and again, line work, little modules here and there. Looking really cool. And then underneath real quick, you can see some great detail in here, especially right here in this little crevice. Very nice. Coming back to the side, you can see all this great line work and panels. Pretty cool. Molding on the fin. Really sharp. We have our engines, 3 of them. You can see the interior of the thruster is recessed in. Give it some depth there. And then check out the detailing on these engines. It's pretty sick, right? And that goes all the way around. Nice. Now you can see the lip here around the engines from the top half. And then coming up, we have our dorsal fins. Some minor detailing right here. It's sort of lost with the paint, but there is something there. You can see, very nicely done. I do have a paint chip here, which is a shame. I basically just opened this and started reviewing it, so what are you gonna do? If I find another one, I'll pick it up. You can see the slight mold in here. Again, very aerodynamic. Not a lot going on. You can see some light molding right there. Now we're coming up to the front with our air intake for the engine. Looking sick. Molded very well here. And that's the same for this side. Really nice. Looking at the top, some good molding here. A little access point there. Little recesses and line work. And we have our cockpit, which looks pretty cool. If you get a nice angle here, you can see 2 chairs, which is kind of cool. They didn't need to do that, and I appreciate that they did. On the side here, we have some great detailing. Looking cool. And I love that the plastic they used for the cockpit window is inside of where the supports are. I don't know, I like it. All in all, a great little ship. And yes, it rolls. And that's everything I have to say about the mold. Hopefully I covered everything from the cockpit to the engines to the cargo area and also our little hover engines. It's pretty nice for something so small. They really did do an amazing job with the detail. So now let's take a look at the paint. And now looking at that paint on the Hot Wheels Lightyear Armadillo, this bad boy features about 5 different colors. The main color is a nice dark purple or plum, followed by some orange, white, dark purple, black plastic, and I guess 6 if you count the translucent windows. To be honest, I really enjoy this color scheme, and I think the major point is it's colorful. You know, most of the ships that I get are grays and dark grays, so to see something with a little life to it, it's a nice change of pace. But what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. And now for a quick size comparison with the Hot Wheels Lightyear Armadillo, I have it next to some other Hot Wheels vehicles. First, on the right hand side, we have the 1989 Batmobile, which looks sick. And finally, on the left hand side, we have the X-Men's X-Jet, which looks fantastic. For another size comparison with the Hot Wheels Lightyear Armadillo seen in the center, I have it next to some other Hot Wheels Lightyear vessels. First, on the right hand side, we have the Zerg fighter ship, which looks awesome. And on the left hand side, we have the XL-15. And for an added bonus size comparison with the Hot Wheels Lightyear Armadillo, I have it next to another Hot Wheels vehicle, the Hot Wheels Loki Thanos Copter. If you would like to see reviews of any of the vehicles you've seen today, check the links in the description below. And that does it today for my review of the Hot Wheels Lightyear Armadillo released in 2022. You know, I spent a long time looking at this mold with you and talking about it. What more could I say? The mold is very unique, it's nicely made, and I think it works. My favorite parts are definitely the overall design of the top section, the dorsal part if you will, the engine section, and the sides. It's a great design, I think it's awesome. Moving on to the paint, they did a decent job. I love the plum and the orange colors working together. I think they contrast enough to make each other pop more, and it works. You know, we got about 5 different colors here working together. If you want to count the transparent cockpit windows, 6 colors altogether. And it's good. I like it. There's nothing more left to say. I think this is great. If you're a fan of spaceships, or vehicles, or even racing different cars on tracks for Hot Wheels, pick it up if you can find it. It's pretty cool. And that's everything I have to say about this awesome ship today. So if you enjoyed this review, smash that like button. And if you'd like to see new videos every week, subscribe. As always, I just want to say thank you to all of you who are taking time out of your busy schedule to watch my content. I greatly appreciate it, and I hope to see you guys next time. Bye, everybody!